first ways you can know that you're dealing with an Adventist is if you go to hit on them and they say, "Sorry, I'm married." If you happen in passing to innocently say, "I wonder what time sundown is on Friday," if you're dealing with an Adventist, they'll tell you immediately what time. But if you ask about maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, they'll have no idea. You are probably talking with an Adventist if anything pertaining to the Catholic Church or the Pope comes up in the news and their reaction is to be like, Another good way to sneakily find out if you're in the presence of an Adventist is to provoke them. Because if you drop, say, a frozen Worthington turkey roll on their foot and they say, "Oh, mercy," instead of Let's say you're in a state like California or Colorado. You're with a friend, you don't know if they're an Adventist, but they turn to you and say, "Do you smell a skunk?" And you're like, "I think Elon Musk was here." Today on How to Spot an Adventist, it's pretty easy. Just watch some of my jokes, and if you get offended, you're probably an Adventist. Another great way to spot an Adventist is if every time you see them, they're wearing chacos and they always carry around an Nalgene bottle, probably with some stickers on it that say things like Union or Andrews or Southern. You can be pretty sure that you got an Adventist on your hands if they get really bent out of shape about the idea of competitive sports, but then at the same time they're like, "We crush every other Christian denomination with our truth." If you come across someone sleeping, here's a good way you can find out if they're an Adventist. You see them just sleeping peacefully, so you sneak up to them and you shake them and say, "What are the feet of iron and clay? What are they?" And they wake up saying, "It's divided Europe! They shall not cleave one to another!" Sometimes some very distinct fashion can help you spot an Adventist from even a long way off. For example, if they're rocking an ankle-length skirt with knee socks and a t-shirt that says Oshkosh 2004, that's a pretty good hint. Hey everyone, here's a good way to find an Adventist in a crowd. It's kind of like a bird call, or a dog whistle you might say. All you have to do is shout out, "God is good!" And even if they don't want to, even if they're hiding from you because it's the time of trouble, they'll be like, "All the time!" If you're ever out in public on a Friday, keep your ears pricked for little hints that there might be Adventists around. For example, if you're at the grocery store and you overhear something like, "What time is it?" "It's 7:32. Hurry up, it's almost sundown. Let's go to the register." That's a clue. Yesterday's tip was just a by chance if you happen to overhear something, but this one you can be sure of because it will happen every week. So let's say you just happen to be, crouching in your neighbor's bushes and putting your ear up to the window every Friday evening around sundown, and you hear every single time, "Day is dying." Another great way to spot an Adventist is to just talk about pop culture with your friend. This allows you to draw the righteous glare of death. So for example, if you say, "Remember that time in Bridesmaids when Melissa McCarthy had explosive diarrhea in the sink?" You'll get the righteous glare of death. Welcome to October, everyone. As you prepare your Halloween costume, just remember this. You're walking up to a door to trick or treat and your hand goes up to knock and suddenly all the lights turn off and the blinds snap shut and you hear hymns. You might be at an Adventist's house. Sometimes it doesn't even take the righteous glare of death to spot an Adventist. Even a blank stare can do it. Since they have no knowledge of pop culture, you could pass them in the hallway and say something like, "You shall not pass!" And they'll just look at you like, "Huh?" In addition to pop culture references, there are a lot of other things that can draw the righteous glare of death from an Adventist. So here's another one. If you're a female, wearing spaghetti straps could do it. Even shorts. Even if it's 100 degrees, if you're a guy. Long hair, a man bun. Any of these things. Righteous glare of death. Sometimes you can spot the really fun kinds of Adventists that everybody loves. All you have to do is wait for December to roll around and then be like a normal, happy person and start enjoying your Christmas festivities. These Adventists will come around and be like, you know Christmas is a pagan holiday, right? You can also spot an Adventist if it's summer and warm outside and you're hanging out and you happen to be wearing short sleeves and they see your tattoo and they give you the righteous glare of death. Another great way to know if you have an Adventist on your hands is if they stop answering text messages every Saturday between 3 and 5 p.m. because they're napping.